Testing, testing, testing. Hopefully you guys can hear me. I'm going to get going here, and I am literally spending 10 minutes today to talk about the markets. Just interesting week here. I'm going to run through the numbers here. Starting Tuesday the 25th, which is today. Not a whole lot going on. Some cable news. Some pound sterling news, and then we've got some USD, CB consumer confidence news. Crude oil inventory numbers tomorrow, and a whole bunch of FOMC statements and fund rate statements and everything else. So won't be trading Wednesday. We'll probably see markets probably chop sideways today, and then we'll see some fairly significant manipulation tomorrow. And then going into Thursday, some Euro US dollar news, and then we got Draghi speaking late, New York Open, and then Powell speaking later on in the day. So Thursday we'll probably see a bit of a later continuation into the day. And then Friday some more Euro news, some pound sterling news, Canadian dollar news. So yeah, I mean, I would imagine today, Tuesday and Wednesday probably won't be ideal for trading. Give you a couple ideas you can look at for going through the week, but more than likely, I'm kind of liking it. If Wednesday hits kind of a significant level on a couple of charts here that I'll bring up, I might be inclined to take a position on Wednesday, but it wouldn't be until later on. I'd be maybe looking at this, and then maybe even wait until Thursday's New York Open. We'll see what happens, but that's why today's going to be such a short session, because there's really not a whole lot to talk about. We made a low in here last week that I was calling sweep under these lows here. Price is starting to drift up so far. We had Friday close last week right here. And then we should have seen a reaction back down, which we did on Monday, came down here, but failed to get underneath these lows. So kind of leads me to believe that they want to drop price a little bit higher before they're going to start rolling over. Ultimately, I do like this area here. This 92.80 level is kind of what I'm looking at to see price run down here aggressively, 10, 20 pips reject, and who knows from there. If we get under here, great, or if that will kind of conclude the this down range here, just basically a run on the stops under here to clear out all the long holders, and then they'll just resume price rate back up. And I believe ultimately we're probably headed somewhere up in this direction in here, longer term. We'll wait there until we get to it, but this week here, I'm thinking they're going to probably Tuesday, Wednesday, they're probably going to jam price up into here. We may even come up and sweep in this old high here from last week. This was last Wednesday, Tuesday, Wednesday's trading of last week. There's a possibility. You see this high here, then the high here, these candles. They may want to even take a big stab up in there. I think that's a bit of a stretch personally. I'll put it on the chart just because, you know, I'll note it on there. The highs, these guys here come in at 95.56. And if I can get this level here on this candle, come on. You can see it down the bottom of my screen, 95.55. So I'll call it 95.55, and then a sweep of, you know, 5-10 pips, whatever you want to call it. What's the low in this candle here? 94.68. So call it 94.65, I guess. Nice round number. It's a possibility. I don't want to see it go up that high personally. I'd kind of like it to stay underneath this swing low here. That would be sort of my ideal level if they would want to elect to keep it under there. Then I believe we'll have that continued momentum to the downside. But I think for the most part, we'll probably see price push up just a little bit going into Tuesday, Wednesday's trading. Potentially Wednesday. Wednesday we'll see some whipsaw, I would imagine. So anything's possible. But if we do make a high into Tuesday here, I'll expect price to roll over a little bit and then start making a run down into here after Wednesday's hoopla happens and price continues to trade normally. But I would expect a little bit of volatility coming in the next 2 days. So again, don't want to be doing a lot of trading with that happening. Euro USD, same idea, just reverse it. Right, price consolidating, chopping in here. Took out a very, very significant high here last week. And actually, yesterday's trading, Monday, actually got that high again came up and just ripped that high out one last time just for good measure. I think this right here is a pretty telltale sign that they're going to run price a bit lower. High came in at 118, call it 15 for all intents and purposes. And I think ultimately this 118.55 level here, and then again the 10-20 pip stop run above that is the target. So I'll just throw that up here. 118. 50. What I say when so call it 118.60. Sorry, what's the high? Let me just double check on that. On this candle here, high comes in at yeah, 118.50, so 118.60, 118.70, even 118.80. I kind of like that number a little bit better, but I'll put this on the chart just for now. We'll worry about dialing it in a little bit later. That's what I'm looking for a run above these highs there ultimately. And it may want to go a little bit higher. May want to even come and trade up into 118.90. So anyway, I think we're going to sweep lower though, and I kind of like these old highs over here for price to repel against, and that's basically 11700. Nice big figure number there. May get it run down a little bit deeper. See these candles highs in here? Not the highs, I'm sorry, the body highs in here. Like the open of this candle came in at 116. Nope, sorry, the close I'm talking about, not the open. Close came in at 116.90. Same thing on this candle here. The open came in 116.90. Top of this candle here, just about 116.90, a little bit higher, 116.97. So right somewhere in that area there, from 117 to 116.90, I would expect price to try to reach down into. It may not even get that low. I'll go down to an hourly here. Price tried to stab down here today, on Monday, and then rejected aggressively and took out the old high and has since sold off. I'm looking for price to kind of trade up. I wouldn't want to see price run any higher than this high right here. I'm thinking it's probably just going to run up into London Open here a little bit, and then we're probably going to eventually roll over, and then that's that low, that 1700 level, that low in there, and that's sort of where I'm looking for them to drive price into Tuesday. Whether or not that's the low of the week or not, I don't know. There's definitely a couple of levels underneath here that they may want to bring price down to. Now they did a stop run, this candle right here. They did hammer down and they ran the stops underneath the lows right there. You can see that just briefly, and rejected. They may want to come back down and recapitalize these this consolidation area right there. And look at the level of confluence in there as well too. And I'm going to bring this up here. You see how these body highs in here coincide with these highs in here. So pretty high level confluence in there, and that comes in at 116.35. So that could be potential target on the downside if they decide to lose, go back through this consolidation range in here and push this thing down a little bit. It's possible. I'm not going to say for sure it's going to happen, but I definitely think we're going to run lower from our current levels. Briefly, and we'll see what happens at this level right here. I'm not necessarily going to be looking to take a trade here or anything like that. I'm just saying we could see something that happens in here. Might just be a short drive up to potentially, even this level right here, 117.25. We may see a return back up to there, and then it may just roll back over and go back down south again, and maybe these lows down here could get run. Or sorry, these lows down here could get run. Again, it's not all the realm of possibility. I wouldn't want to see it come all the way back down there. But look at this swing low to this swing high here. I'm going to pull a quick fib off of that candles. You see these levels under here, and that 72% retracement level. Very, very high level confluence under there as well too. So anything's really possible here. I kind of think that this high on Monday here, that I don't that's not going to be the high ultimately. I mean, I think ultimately going forward, right, I'm calling 1870 to 1890. I'm going to call it 1880 just because. I like that number a little bit better. But I think that that level will get tagged ultimately, but I think we're probably going to see price run south a little bit before it does, personally. If I could get the right level here. So, yeah, that's sort of what I'm thinking anyway on Euro. Just, you know, real quick. Again, I'm not going to be taking a long at this position here. I'd like to. I really would, just based on this whole. Look at this. Look at this run in price. Isn't that gorgeous? And then it would just bounce perfectly off that trend line as well too. Retail trading thinking. I'm kind of suspecting that just with this FOMC news and everything else, so it may drive it a bit lower. So that's kind of why I'm a little bit hesitant to see it run down there. But if it runs down there during the next and tags this level immediately in the next, I'd say, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours, then maybe I'd be looking at picking up a long if it doesn't want to see any willingness to continue lower. But if you don't see price getting above this 117.25 level, I wouldn't be going long there. I would, you know, maybe even just capture quick 20 pips and be out. I wouldn't do any trading today, personally, today or tomorrow. That's just me. Personally, you do what you want to do. Pound dollar, same idea. I want to see a run down this week and then a move higher. Ultimately, this level right here, you can see these levels from last week all got nailed. This guy here, they ran briefly and rejected. Thursday's candle, Friday traded lower, and then Monday tried to get up into it again, rejected. And so far we're just kind of hovering. See these 1, 2, 3, 4 lows we just made right there? I think we're going to sweep under those and bounce back into this 130.30 level back in here. And that's just kind of these old highs back in here. 130.30 to 130 even, you know, is kind of the levels that I'm sort of looking at, just right in there for them to run price back into, just for for good measure, I think. And then from there, we'll see. If the U.S. dollar doesn't want to push up into this 94.60 level, and we're just going to get a push up into this small consolidation level and then roll over, then we'll see the corresponding drop down into here slightly and then roll over and push back higher again. But it took out some pretty significant levels, this guy, and this guy last week. And now on the top is this one and this one here. This could be later out if we see continued bullish activity on the pound dollar. We could see this guy start to get run out maybe into October. I don't think they're going to be doing that here into September yet. That's September's coming to a close here pretty quick. We're pretty much the last week of trading here for the month. Not pretty much. We are the last week of trading here for this month. So we've got some FOMC stuff coming in on Wednesday. And then don't forget, not this Friday, but next Friday, it's non-farm. Back to that old fun stuff again. So I'm going to drop down to a lower time frame real quick here and kind of show you my thoughts. I think probably a sweep of these lows right here. Again, same idea as the euro. I'd like to see if they want to bring price up just a little bit here into here. Maybe get above these highs here. I'm not necessarily counting on it. Drop down to a 15, but you can kind of see these equal highs right up here. Ideally, in a perfect situation, in a perfect world, I'd like to see price rip higher, run up above here a few pips, 5 pips, maybe 10 pips at the most, and then real quick rejection. And I'd like to see them try to swing under these lows here and ultimately get down, and this is the level I was talking about, these two levels off of that daily that I was talking about, right into this level back into here. So maybe potentially swinging under this low right under here real quick, stab down, and then again, price could continue higher from there or reject and just continue to move lower. There's definitely some areas under here and under here that I think they could want to run price. I hope they don't want to come that deep again, but anything is possible here for this week, because again, we are closing off the week. Look at those two perfectly even lows under there. So again, well, that's still on the downside. That would be quite a ways away from where we're currently at. 200 pips lower. It's possible, but in order to get down there, we'd have to see some real aggressive price action. Symmetrical swing down lower, though, would take us underneath those lows. This guy here, and then one more swing down lower would take us under those lows. So again, I'm looking for a move lower, but when it gets into this area, my target, if I do go short up into here, if we do get that real quick jam up into here and then a rejection lower, I'd be looking just to take my profit pretty much when price bounced into this line here, the 130.30 level, or maybe hold a small position. I'd definitely be taking some off there, but I might be holding a small position down to 130 even, just to see if I can get that. That's about 100 pips away, so that's a nice run on the day if you could get that. Now, what would negate that is if price wanted to break. If price starts to bust up higher and get up back into here, not interested in it at all. An absolute line in the sand, 131.55, I'd call it. Somewhere right in around there. That's my absolute line in the sand. I'm looking for a run right above here, 131.20 to call it 131, 25-ish to 131.30. But if price starts to keep running up to this level here, then again, not interested in that. But I do think we are going to move lower underneath this low for sure here. So anyway, that's US dollar, Euro USD, pound dollar. I had one quick idea on CAD, same type of thing as the US dollar. Run right up into here and a rejection, and hopefully them running these lows under here. See, they came under this low here briefly last Thursday, Friday. They didn't really take the stops very significantly, and they left two relatively very, very equal lows that you can see right here. You see that there. I'm going to put these data dividers on. You can see those data dividers and how they, data dividers. Last Thursday, Friday's trading. Canadian dollar's really just been building up positions in here. They've really been chopping this thing sideways, so they're accumulating positions right now. And I believe they're probably more than likely they're selling into this little rally into here. And I think ultimately, like I was saying, these areas under here is where that's where I've got my my eye on. I think that's where they're going to drive price down to. And again, you want to talk about, in terms of, price movement, symmetrical swings, relatively symmetrical swing there too. And if we get another move lower, that would almost take us pretty much underneath there. So more accurately, I think, let's just do something like this. So price swing 1 and then price swing 2, and then there. You can see that low coming in right underneath those lows there. So that's my thoughts on CAD, and that comes in at 129.75 is kind of where I'm thinking they're going to want to take that price up into. I don't really want to see them get above here, but if they did go above there, I'd permit them to go up to, here, let me put a price tag on it. I'd permit it to go up to 130. Let me just get an exact level on that. Yeah, about 130.15 I think would be, if they did want to run above here. I wouldn't want to see it go any higher than this level here, basically. Ideally, I wouldn't want to see it go any higher than 129.75. But if we do get a bit of a deeper retracement in the US dollar, it might pull the Canadian dollar up on it a little bit as well. And so that's why I say maybe it'll swing up higher than that guy there. But so far, it did a pretty good job of rejecting price. Right at that level right there. See that candle low right there, candle low to candle high, rejected and back down. So again, I don't want to see them come back up and recapitalize that level there. So last one here, well, last one. I had an idea on crude oil today, and I got stopped out on, I'm looking for a rundown on crude. Ultimately, crude oil, I believe we've hit a level, a fairly significant level. You see how they've run all these stops on crude right here? How prices come in above this high here, especially, and that was on Friday's trading. Came above that high, and then Monday aggressively traded up above that. I'm not calling a high or anything like that in crude, although I would suggest that anything above 73.10, I'd be careful. That I wouldn't be going short. I'm thinking they're probably going to start running these highs here. But I think this is a real nice run up here, and I'm kind of the opinion that maybe they may want to come back down a little bit deeper. You can see that. That's one price swing right there, and this is the second symmetrical price swing, and it almost perfectly hits that level that we reached on Monday. So just be careful with this. I don't get too crazy on it. I'm going to elect to sit on the sidelines. I was looking for a short only because I liked the price action here, how it came up, made the high and stabbed up one more time, and since hasn't really been doing anything. Plus there's a gap right here from Monday open from last Friday. So I'm just kind of thinking, maybe they might want to push it up one more time here on Tuesday. It's trading, and then eventually I'm looking for them to fill this gap in right here. That's where I think they're going to head out. Where it goes from there, I don't know. So that's what I'm looking for on crude. But I don't have an entry for you, unfortunately, on crude oil. And that's about it. Australian dollar, I have a trade idea here. I'm looking for a long position at this level here. And I'm going to actually throw this one up. This is a freebie here. I'm going to throw you 172.00 is basically where I'm looking for price to run down to, and then a subsequent pop above that. I'm going to take a little bit of price off here, and then ultimately I'm looking for this 75 level to get hit, and that's kind of where I'm going to do a nice little swing trade in there for about 100 or 200. Sorry, it's about 300 pips is sort of what I'm looking for on that little swing trade. I'll keep a little piece on, and away we go. So that's it. That's all, guys. I don't have anything else for you. It's, again, a lot of FOMC news on Wednesday. I'm not going to be doing any trading Tuesday unless I see a solid setup on one of those shorts on euro or pound. I might be inclined to do so, but unless I see that happen, and I'm not going to be doing much until after Wednesday. So I hope you guys have a great day Tuesday and Wednesday. Dave will be in Wednesday morning to trade S&P and gold for you. I'll be back Thursday, London Open, and we'll get back into the markets then and hopefully capture some nice movements for the week. So thanks, guys. Hope you have a great day. Take care. See you on the next one. Bye-bye.